This is after. My wife was very nice and gave me a much appreciated glass of iced tea. I've had a few minutes to take a break from putting this thing together, and I wanted to come back and talk to you a little about it. I am not sure where this is going to be patched in the video because I don't know what came out and what didn't. At some point, the gimbal stopped following me, which means I have no idea where it was pointed for half of this thing. This room, which as you can see is really tiny and filled with tripods and everything, got super hot. I turned the air conditioning down way low and it still got super hot and stuffy. It's really tight to work. I mean, it's great for working on the printers, but it's not great for filming working on the printers in this amount of space. I also know that some of you are going to figure out that I did not put the plug in the back of the Cobra 3. So I'm going to do that now just because somebody out there is going to leave me a comment saying, you did not put the plug in the back of the Cobra 3. How could you possibly use this thing? So I'm going to do that now. And after I unwrap this thing, there we go. So the plug is, where's the plug? In the middle here. All right, so we're just going to do it this way. We're just going to do it this way. And see, the gimbal is actually following me this time. Where is it? Okay, the plug is not in the back, I don't think. I also probably need to set the voltage level. Yeah, the plug is on the side. So you can see it over here. Doesn't say anything about setting the voltage level, so we'll find out. I'm just going to plug it in so that everybody's happy that I plugged it in, like so. All right, in fact, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to plug it into the wall. Check it out. I'm plugging it into the wall. I'm not going to do any. I'm not going to print anything because, wow, I'm not going to print anything. But I am going to plug it into the wall and see if it powers up. Here we go. It's in the wall. I push the button. It's powering up. We did not blow anything up. And for some reason, the gimbal just decided to switch again. Okay, this way. This way? This way? So basically, to switch the gimbal, you're supposed to point your thumbs like that, and it's supposed to not decide to change its mind, but it did. All right. In any case, and then you have to tell it to do this to follow you around. All right, maybe it's because I bent over it. But meanwhile, English, global, Wi-Fi scanning, and I'll let it do the rest of that. All right, so that's where that is. The other thing is you may notice I was a little cranky. I don't like building printers. When I went to engineering school, I was like all about the tinkering. But by the time I was done with it and kind of went on to my career, I didn't like the tinkering as much. So I get cranky when I have to bend over and fight stuff and make it fit. And I also get a little cranky when you have to kind of jam something into something that doesn't want to go, and where you got to pull it and twist it and yank it and move your body around in weird places. I get cranky. Nothing against the quality of the printers. I've worked with other Anycubic products and they've been great. I assume this will be as well, although obviously I haven't done a test print, but it's running. Let me move the camera, one of the cameras. Hang on a second. Let me grab the little camera and I'll point it to you that way. So you can see, and then I'll patch this in. There you go. Whoops. First off, there's me being followed by the gimbal. Okay, so we'll come down here. And you can see the printer's on. And you can see it even has a nicely lit Anycubic up on top is all lit up, which means at least so far I didn't break anything, which is cool. So anyhow, that's the story here, and I will be back with running the thing and showing it to you and showing you prints and all that stuff. But I wanted you to understand that, you know, setting this stuff up is a bit difficult with all the cameras. Plus, I'm a kind of cranky person, you know, and so getting it all set up, you can kind of see, and it was hot too. You can kind of see it getting to the point where I'm like, I have had it here. I don't want to do this anymore. Now, this cord needs to come down a little bit because it is too tight. That has pretty good run. All right. And we'll just tie these guys in up here. Gimbal is tracking me. That's kind of nice. Alright. And one. Alright, well, we're not going to try those cords at all. We'll just deal with them separately. But I think we're kind of good for the moment. So anyway, thank you for coming along for the ride, and thanks for putting up with my attitude. You know, I mean, one of the things about doing these videos is, especially when we do unscripted, is to give you the opportunity to kind of get to know us a little bit, to understand the experience, to be part of it. I mean, this is why, you know, scripted TV is one thing and YouTube is something else. You know, when I get the chance, I love watching other people and what they're doing and getting to know who they are. And I mean, obviously, you don't know exactly who I am because I'm on the screen and not, you know, you're not eating dinner with me. But the point is, you know, we get a better feel for personality, and we get to communicate with each other a little bit more. And you kind of get to see that, you know, I'm a geek and I sort of have an interest in this stuff, but it also makes me cranky. And that's okay, because it's okay to be someone who has an interest in this stuff or makes a living off of this stuff. And I've made my living off of technology for way too many years. And also who gets cranky because of it. You know, I mean, this stuff is not easy. It doesn't go smoothly. Sometimes some things are a little bit easier than others, but there's always something that raises its ugly head. There's always some email that tells you you have to reset something, or a new feature that's changed, or there's always something. And so sometimes tech makes us cranky. It gives us enormous gifts. It gives us these printers. It gives us the ability to make, you know, little plastic square cubes. I mean, where else could you make silly little plastic square cubes for no reason? This is actually a calibration square, so that I want to make sure that all the printers are the same size. So that's what this is for. But I mean, it gives us cool stuff, you know, but it also costs a little bit, and it also gets in the way, and it also makes us a little bit fussy and cranky, and it also is sometimes hard. And it's frustrating. One of the reasons that I do this, why I review things for you, is so that you don't go out and spend a ton of money on something before you have any idea what you're dealing with. But it's also expensive, and you know, you spend a lot of money on something and it doesn't work, and you're like disappointed that happened, and it's frustrating. You know, whereas if you get something that's a pretty decent deal, then you're like excited. Like, even though the gimbal gave up the ghost halfway through my video, and I have no idea. Like I said, I haven't looked at the finished build video of this thing yet. I have no idea what came out at all. But it was $100, and it follows me, and here it's just following me, you know, 4 feet left and right. But, you know, in the workshop, it follows me around and gives me a bit of a camera person. It hopefully can come over here and do something, and it'll point to me, and then I can come over here. That's $100. It's a great piece of technology. The AI is coming out and looking at me and figuring out where I am, and doing it much better than any of the gimbals I've tried before. So enjoy the technology. understand that technology has a price. Magic has a price. Understand that it could very well piss you off, but at the same time give you things that we couldn't imagine 20 years ago. So, there you go. I may patch this in throughout the video. This might be a coda at the end. I have no idea. Like I said, I don't know what came out at all. But anyway, for Advanced Geekery, my name is David Gewirtz. I hope you have a good night, a good day, a good morning, wherever you are in your calendar, and go out there and make something awesome. Be okay with it if you're a little cranky once in a while, because these things make us cranky once in a while. Bye.